Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is Jonas Reports for the second. Amazing what a little world event risk on situation causes everyone to run a little bit. So they went from risk on of new highs with the lower interest rate to risk off really fast. Of course, you had the Israel situation, obviously the ongoing Russia-Ukraine, the Iranian attack on Israel. What does that do to oil? All sorts of things. And is anyone at the helm at the U.S. to even monitor what's going on with the strike situation taking place with dock workers and commerce secretaries? Like, not really that focused on it. So I think a lot of that got together, and that was a spooky situation. But all we did was come back to the ABM yellow, so it wasn't all that dramatic. But it does what we talked about too. It brought shorts into the equation, which is something that the longs will need to get a turnaround set up. Of course, we're not looking at that right yet, given what we're seeing from the MBI readings. But interesting that it's coming with the shakeout here with the gold rising. Should be enough to keep things from falling apart, but it was enough to create a little fear. And all we did for the NASDAQ, come back to the previous algo level. So you can see we're just bouncing around to the same spots. It'll be interesting. We got to see if NASDAQ MBI White overtakes it, which would be a significant change. From a treasury standpoint, not a whole lot of activity from that standpoint, not doing a thing. And when we look at oil, it was a big jump. Skyrocketed through the roof on that one, back over the 70 handle. So they believed that the euro was going to move to new area highs, and unfortunately, world events obviously sparking that. And of course, the euro is going to move with oil in this particular case. I don't think there's any surprise to that. When we look at it from a gold standpoint, of course, gold is going to be continuing its run. It's going to have a little some back and forth, yes, but of course, world events certainly scare everyone, and this is the go-to place. And it won't be long to see 3,000 gold, too far off. Of course, like we've talked about before, Bitcoin and some of these ETFs are used just to park your money temporarily if you want to be out of the market, if you're not going into money markets, that kind of thing. But from an ETF standpoint, makes it a little easy to, use as a arbitrage situation. But a lot of times when the market fades on those, people sell out and use it to cover. I don't suspect that to be too lasting a move. ETH likewise back to its 23%. So the the winter for crypto continues, but I wouldn't even call it a winter. It's been all year long. So when we move to intraday, looking at the 50K, you can see that we had the sell signal early, and it just completely faded all the way through there with a slight bounce to the 50%, but MBI White spikes. And this, remember, we talked about it from the other day. The previous video was the MBI White spikes that had started here, and it was just a matter of waiting for the signal. And when that sell did come through, that not only hit the 50%, but then kept going from there. And then additional MBI White spikes even right before the dip all the way back down to the 0%. Preceded it, and then we had just this most recent one, which is leading to where we're at currently. So all that's pretty congruent within the readings. So it's nice to see. It's pretty clean, and this is what it looked like from a 5-minute standpoint. Boom, it was just all pre-market as everyone was getting terrified over the situation. Of course, Israel hasn't responded in that yet, but when they do, I'm sure that will add to more of the speculation back and forth, and that's going to create some nervousness. And nervousness always causes people to want to either hold or sell. So that's the long and the short of it. As always, anything relevant, I will put it on the Skype chat. Have a good one. Trade well.